Welcome team, I'm so excited to bring Victor Radley today. Mate, I have been trying to get you on this show for quite some time. We've always talked about doing it, and here it is in Allianz Stadium in your locker room, where you've got some great memories, no doubt. Thanks so much for coming on.
So you're always my guy, Knowlesy. I said, if you ever want me on, I'll come on.
Yes, mate. Well, you're always my guy. I like that. You've been my guy way back. The first time I met you, you walked in the gym. Obviously you hadn't played yet, and we put some boxing gloves on, me and you.
Yeah, tell this story.
And Travis Toomer said, put it on him, see what he does. And I think I just flicked in the face just to see any flinching or anything. You just like straight at me, tried to kill me. And I just grabbed you and hugged you. I said, I love this kid. We need him in our team. The character you bring to a team, mate, is so, not just on the field, off the field, training, just everything. I'm privileged to work with you on a daily basis, and now I'm privileged to be able to share, hopefully, some lessons out there. A lot of listeners, mate, are like teachers, trainers, coaches, young players that are following in your footsteps, and probably just some rugby league fans that love Victor Radley, the inflictor.
It makes me a bit awkward to talk about it.
Does it make you feel awkward?
It does when someone's talking about you.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Well, you're always very honest, so even just telling me that, I'll just keep making you feel awkward here because you're a two-time premiership winning player. You've played for England, which I definitely want to go there because you could easily have been playing State of Origin and for Australia, in my opinion. You chose England, so I definitely want to hear about that. I want to hear about your childhood, how you grew up, your influences, because there's some character traits in you, mate, that have come from somewhere. You're sitting in a Fat Boy T-shirt.
That's my new bike.
You want to give this a plug?
Yeah, the Fat Boy bikes, the e-bikes. I ride at the train every day now.
I see you on that bike.
It's changed my life. I go straight to Centennial Park, beat all the traffic, straight in our door, park it at the front, ride the field back. It's a 7-minute journey from my house. When it was in school traffic, it's a 40-minute journey. Then I said, the Fat Boy, the machine, I said that resonated with me a few months ago in the off-season. I was rocking that.
I think that shirt suits me. So now we're giving Fat Boy a
shout
out.
Get an e-bike. I tell you, your son would change his life.
Yeah, I need a bike.
They're actually a cheat code. I reckon, so normally when you got to go 8 to 17 to get your license.
Yeah.
Now, if you have an e-bike and you're 14, 13, it will be a game changer for your life.
Yeah, right.
Go to the beach. I used to have to get the bus to Bronny Beach, the bus home. I haven't got $2 at the bus. No dramas. Imagine, I can think if I had an e-bike at 12 years old, my life would have been game changer.
Okay. Well, we're meant to talk about your career, but we've just stuck on bikes. But that's great. I might get myself one. The Fat Boy thing probably suits, but
it definitely suits.
That's a funny name for him though. Like.
Fat people probably.
Yeah. We shouldn't be talking.
No fat change. It's more for the fat wheels.
Yeah, it's for the fat wheels.
It's like a Harley. It's like an Harley.
Right. Okay. Well, mate, come on. Let's go. Like how many NRL games have you played?
Probably like 120 or 30. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Games 2 years ago.
Yeah. So you've been a Rooster. You debuted in 2017. I have a photo of me and you in the dressing room from that night. What a debut. The crowd was crazy for you. You had the whole of your...
Well, that was in the old Allianz, which was... I was spending some time watching footy there. I played on the old Allianz at halftime with the Crocs, as they do when you're 6 and stuff, and then played the first game there, which was good.
From memory, did your brother or someone jump the fence?
Yeah. My youngest one was pissed up.
Your younger brother jumped the fence, that's right.
Pummeled by the coppers. He actually just, this year, he must have been tight for money. He got a $5,000 payout from the coppers for pummeling him.
Oh, did he?
So there's a video of it. And he got the video of his mate, and then some lawyer said, I'll be able to get you a payout.
I'll look after
that. If we don't get it, won't have to charge you. And then my mate said, I went to court with him to show the video. I think they got like a $5,000 thing. It's a funny story.
Oh, right, okay.
He must be tired of money, the poor bastard.
He doesn't ring you for money?
He does ring me for money. He rings everyone for money.
I kind of remember the back end of that game because there was a huge crowd.
That was all from Bronny Beach, which is Rob Runs, who runs the board riders down there. I think he organised few buses, and then obviously they're really close with Kath King, being from Bronny. So she said, I'll look after the tickets.
Yeah, gotcha.
So it was kind of the whole Bronny community were kind of all invested in that. And he organised it. Auntie Kath, obviously, the facilitator to it all. She's a legend. And then they all just got busloads of it in.
Let's stick on Auntie Kath here, names. Because like I just love the unscripted chat, but there is some little messages I try to deliver to the type of listeners that listen. Having someone like Auntie Kath in a rugby league club is priceless. Let's stick on that as a little theme. You've just mentioned her and you said she's a legend.
Yeah, she's best.
And anyone in the Roosters know that. She's a life member, I think. Maybe
she's a first female life member.
30 years.
First female life member, 30 years the other year. The first female life member, I'm pretty 100% sure that's right.
Yeah.
That was massive. I think I was there that day. Might have been the same night as the 30-year reunion.
Yeah.
But for someone that obviously didn't play the game, the impact she's had on the Roosters has been so big. You know, there's the other people I've seen, Freddie, who was Fitzy, we got a life member when I was here. I'm trying to think of others. And these people have been such a big impact at the club, and she's with those people, you know, and without playing a game or without even really being in the media or without, you know, being so internal, but had such a big impact.
I remember when Trent Robinson introduced me to Kath, he called her the sun because he said the whole club revolves around her. And just a message out there and appreciation to any of the females in that space that just make a football club hum.
Yeah.
A successful club has to have an Auntie Kath. And
you speak of culture and stuff, and then they're all just words, but it's like people like them that create that feeling of when people walk in, they go, oh, they've got a good culture, but they don't really, if you're saying, oh, what does that mean? They couldn't really explain. It's more of a feeling that you get, and it's because of them people.
Because of people
That's
like
what
Kath.
I think anyway. It's the feeling you get.
Kath, if you're listening, we need you on the show because can you imagine the stories and lessons?
She talks about the black book.
She has supported numerous coaches, hundreds of players' wives, mums, dads, aunties, uncles. Like she could write a book. The black book we don't need to go to, but the other stuff. Yeah, so I know that's really cool. You mentioned the board riders. How was that growing up?
Well, I did Bronny Nippers.
Yeah.
We lived in kind of in between Bronny and Bondi. It was Bondi really. But did Nippers down at Bronny Beach and went to Bronny School. Yeah. And then the board riders, I used to surf when I was a kid, do the board riders. I was big into my Nippers and stuff, so I was more down there doing the surf life saving. I was fit as anything in kids, so I'd do the Ironmans all the way up until, I'm not sure, 15 years old to how Matt started.
Yeah, that's
in summer, that's what I used to do.
Good fitness base,
So most of my time was Bronny Beach in summer, then obviously footy in winter with Burrows Park for the Crocs and the Chloe Eagles. But Bronny is a big part of, well, when I think of the Eastern Suburbs, that's what I think of. Because that's where, for my debut, 100 of those blokes come for the grand finals. The busloads of them going to the grand final. They're just real genuine people. And people always say it's a snobby area or whatnot, but these people are hardworking, genuine people, and they're just really good people that a lot of them I grew up with, and my brothers grew up with. So it's a part of me down there. It's good.
You said hardworking, genuine people. When I hear stories of your dad, I hear that type of story as well. Can you take me through some of your influences? And I'm putting obviously your father's one of them, but is there?
Like the history comes up a lot with the Roosters, and Robbo drums on it. Like this area was never, this multi-million-dollar place. I got built into that, and then as I was growing up, when people say like, "Oh, Eastern Suburbs" or whatever, my dad had to work so hard. He's a builder, brought up 4 boys, and lived in the Eastern Suburbs when the price was like, you have to work hard as fuck. He worked 6 days a week, never had a day off my whole childhood growing up. Yeah. Took us, all 4 of us, to Burrows Park, Tuesday, Thursday league. Obviously the youngest one started at 4 o'clock, the oldest one started at 7. So you can imagine it's 4 to 8.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Friday, union, same. Saturday, union, play, Sunday, league, play. And this all whilst working as a builder. And he loved it, I think. He loved being a builder. Obviously, he's a bit old now and he's getting on a bit. But, it was some good... he's never one to tell. If you met my dad, he doesn't say too much. He's never said, like, work hard, do this, do that. All he's done is just show the way, and he's just worked hard. And the only thing he would tell you is, oh, you want to go get on the piss? We turn up to work the next day. Or you want to go and be a dickhead there? Or you turn up to work the next day.
Yeah.
That was probably the biggest lesson that I learned from him, kind of indirectly, was just turn up for work, whether you're upset, you're hungover.
Doesn't matter how you feel.
Turn up to work, go to work. And that's it's a good lesson that I feel like no matter what happens in my life, it gives me a lot of confidence just to be who I am, because I think, well, whatever happens, I know I want to turn up to work and I'll be all right, and I know I can work hard.
Yeah.
And touch wood that something doesn't happen physically, but I know that I can work hard, and so it gives me a freedom to live my life, never worrying like, this or that. I'm not sure. I just pretty content on I'll be right no matter what.
Yeah. Well, you see that. I mean, I've seen that, but people that are even watching this and just getting to know you through this, they're probably now seeing that in you, in your footy. I know your teammates know that. I know your coaching staff, like the trust you have from people around you, because they just know you turn up to work no matter how you feel. And that's really cool that you put it back to your dad. Your dad's from England, right?
Yeah, Sheffield or Barnsley, England, in between Sheffield and Barnsley.
Yeah.
I know the area quite well now because of the time I've spent there.
Yeah.
Which I'm not happy that I've done the 3 tours that I've done, because of the amount of time I got to spend where he grew up, where my grandfather used to drink in that workman's club. Just all his mates, like, it's pretty funny. He's got the same crew, and every time I walk in there, he goes, oh, there's Radda's boy.
Yeah.
And I have a beer with all of them. And I always ask him, I said, do you miss it? And he said, oh, a little bit, but he said they've all been doing the exact same thing every day since he was there last, so he doesn't miss it that much. He's gone to the same pub.
Right.
But it's like I know the countryside in England is beautiful. Like,
yeah,
I think it's so beautiful, because when you speak to people who are from England, a lot of them go, oh, it's a shit house. But I think that the areas like that are beautiful. I don't know how long, obviously the weather impacts maybe how they feel about it, but some of the area where my dad's from, it's quite nice here.
Do you feel when you go to where he grew up, and do you put your feet on the English soil? Does it feel homely? Like, what's the feeling like? Yeah,
I remember when the first World Cup, when I first went over there, and I visited my grandfather a few times when I was a kid. Yeah. It's only a small town, and I went for a drive around just because I was by myself there. And I drove past my grandfather's house, and I knew it straight away. I just had this, like, I know, that was a good feeling. I remember when I was there, I was like, oh, it's mad. I know that was his house.
Yeah.
I remember being there once. I don't know if it felt like home, but there's definitely a feeling that comes with going back to where he was from and learning more about it.
Yeah.
Learning where I guess I came from as well, and why I am the way I am, because it's a big steelworks town. Like, they all worked in the mines there.
Yeah.
So that's obviously where my dad got it from. They're all hard-working people. They're all in the mines, all steel workers.
Yeah.
From that area. So, yeah, I enjoy it. I like going in the workman's club there, and then my debut England jersey, I hung it above where my granddad Derek would sit. He would sit there with my dad's good mate John Boy's dad, apparently, and drink every afternoon, have a few pints. And they were in that same spot every afternoon, so I hung it above there. It says, in love and memory of Derek Radley. It's good.
Wow. So can you send me a photo of that?
I've got it. Yeah, I'll send it a photo. I've got one on me.
That's such a great story, and what a privilege that must have been to be able to do, is put your debut England jersey above where your granddad used to sit.
It's good, and there's like a photo of him, and like looking at my dad now as he's getting older, he looks like Derek, exactly the same. And then
don't worry,
me,
that's
and
where
I look
you'll
like
look.
Nigel. I'm telling you,
you'll be the same, mate.
The bloodline's pretty thick.
That happens. Don't worry about that. That happens, mate.
The bloodline's sick, but it's good.
Your middle name's Derek, right?
Yeah.
After your granddad.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, well, that probably like leads me on to then, I mean, we've skipped a bit of the junior footy. We've gone straight to representing England. That decision, how hard was that? Because personally, I was on the fence, right? So when you made your debut, Wayne Bennett was coaching at the time, and I called him straight away, said, you have got a kid here who has a very proud English heritage. He should play for England, right? Just because I loved all that about you. But then I was working with Freddie, wanting to recruit you to play for the New South Wales, and we nearly did. You came into camp, the Blues camp, and you were 18th man. And again, you were just so good to have in a camp. But then you decided to go to England. So before the Origin, were you considering England already?
Yeah, I think there was a few things. It was obviously the World Cup year, and I had this feeling in my stomach. It's the same kind of feeling I get when I think about my father, or like that same feeling I had when I just talked about Derek's jersey there. I don't know. It's like a proud feeling that I get, and I had this feeling like, should I play for England? And then I was lucky enough to get chosen as 18th man down in Perth for Origin. And that was like, I was over the moon with that. I was stoked. And then I thought that would like make my decision up for me, because if I went there and then I said, oh no, this is where I wanted, it was where I wanted to be, to be honest. Because watching that game, sitting on the sideline, I was a bit antsy there. Like I wanted to be out there. It wasn't like I didn't enjoy camp or anything like that. But I remember the weeks after that camp, I still had this same feeling, like something didn't tell me, nah, I'm definitely playing Origin. So I just thought, maybe it's the right thing. It was all off this feeling. And then obviously the years previous to that, different things happened why I didn't get picked for Origin. Not that I was going to make the team or anything. I did Sydney. I got suspended another year. I probably wouldn't have made the team anyway, but these things happen where didn't get an opportunity. I just thought, maybe this is...
But that gut feeling always says...
is right.
Yeah.
And I rang Freddie, and Freddie was like, I just spoke about my dad and stuff, and he kind of had a very good point where he said, imagine your dad sitting in the stands watching you play Origin. And I'm telling you, my dad wouldn't have cared if I did either. It's not like he was like, I want you to play for England. Yeah. He would have been over the moon to see me play for New South Wales, you know?
Yeah.
But it wasn't really about that. It was about this gut feeling that I had, and I'm pretty proud I did it now, because it was kind of a big call, and I've had some of the best times of my life over the last 3 years touring England, with England, and the people and the family and my dad's area, which I spend a lot of time. I feel a lot more connected over there.
That's awesome. Tell me about some of your favourite things. Again, I mean, I could talk forever on it, but I'm thinking about the listeners. There's a lot of coaches listening. So is there anything around the coaches in the England environment, any lessons you've learned?
The English people are hard workers. My dad was the same, but they are fit. You know how fit the English are, besides maybe Dommy is an exception. But they're just fit, and they just want to work hard. You think of Morgan Knowles, you know, Jack Wellesby, they're just competitors and fit. They're never the biggest, but they're just fit workers. And obviously Sean Wayne's the big one there. We touch on Sam Tonkin's told me a lot about his the way he grew up, and he's a hard man. He's probably one of the hardest men, and the story he's had growing up.
So Sam Tompkins told you about Sean.
He was telling me some stories about Sean's
Okay, so you didn't learn this from Sean?
No, Sean didn't come and tell me about it. No. Sam told me some of what happened when he was younger, and he's I wouldn't be able to say much of it, but he's had a tough, ruthless, hard man. Obviously played for Wigan.
Yeah.
And now he's gone to England coach, but how much of a hard man he is, and then how caring he is, that's the type of person that I want to be. Like, you think of Jared, same thing. Hargraves, he's just like, everyone's like, when you meet him, he's so nice. That's the Englishman that I look up to, where they're hard workers, they're that tough, but they're so loving to their family. Obviously, he's looked after me a few times over there, which I was telling you about with my partner, with some family stuff I had going on. Just such a hard man, but so caring at the same time. And I feel like that's kind of what the English are. They're just hard workers, love a good time. They do love a good time, and they're really good people, I find.
You could see that when you just, like, I only met him the once. I come into England camp one day, and you can just tell when you meet a bloke, he's a good bloke.
Yeah.
And I can hear in whenever I've ever spoken to you about him, you just love playing for him.
He's just so like, he wants you to just, as long as you're doing everything you can to win, he'll love you and do everything he can for you. There's not one thing he wouldn't do for you. Yeah. Like the minute I feel like you done him a bit wrong or didn't put your effort in or something, like he'd be quick to
ruthless,
fuck off.
Yeah.
Really would be.
But the caring bit about him away from the game seems like that's another reason why you love playing for him.
Yeah, for sure. You know? Massive. The things like in the World Cup, obviously I had Jarmas and my partner, end up flying her over.
Yeah.
We had some Jarmas with baby or whatever, but he came straight up to me. I was pretty upset at the time. He said, "Oh, do you need anything? You don't need to go back or anything." I said, "No. Well, he offered if I didn't have to." And then he comes back half an hour later, so I want to book a business flight over to sort it out, just stuff like that. He's just so generous.
Yeah.
And he'll do anything for you as long as you pay it back. But he's one of the greatest men. Yeah, he's a ledge, Wayne.
That's awesome. What was it like when you first walked out and you were singing "God Save the Queen"?
Well, we did a trial against Fiji.
Right.
And then to be honest, I didn't even think about the anthem till I was kind of walking out. I said, "Oh yeah, I've got to sing the anthem."
Yeah.
I know that the kind of the chorus of "God Save the Queen" is not too hard, and it was "God Save the Queen" at the time. And then I didn't know the words, and the camera stopped on me for a good bit at the trial game.
And you didn't know the
then I
words.
got up the next morning in the review, and Wayne's like, "Victor, get the fuck up here." He's like, "Do you know the anthem?" I was like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, fucking hell." He's like, "Oh, yes, sing him the anthem." And I don't know what to sing the anthem. I had to learn the anthem that day, but now I know it.
There you know it. God Save the King now.
Yeah, but that was a. I didn't think of it once. Even when I decided to play for England, I didn't think about the anthem at all till that time. And then, Wayne, he wasn't angry, but he was mate, the anthem, it's pretty easy anthem to learn.
Mate, that's a very funny game review. You're ready to sit there and watch the game, and it's reviewing
like,
the anthem.
Front. Do you know the anthem? You never know when he's like, no. He gets his finger in his face. No, he's like, oh, fuck. Sing him the fucking anthem. Funny
Let's stick on, I just mentioned things like reviews. The life of a pro, like, you have to be able to be a student. Like, you were a student in your carpentry, you did an apprenticeship, you're a tradesman. But the life as a pro, like, it's hard work.
Yeah.
Not just physically, mentally. Like, talk us through how you go with that. You've been a real student of the game underneath some very good teachers of the game. Is there any people we want to mention that have helped you along the way, and how do you find that balance? Because it's the pro life is very detailed. How do you go with that?
I think I'm good. I think everyone learns in a different way. I feel like if I love something, I can learn it, and I'll sit there for an hour and be so content on what's coming to me and trying to take everything. I'm not much of it. I don't write much down.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've never been good with reading comprehension or whatever. But if you're telling me something on last days, whatever you're telling me, and I'm writing it down, whatever I'm writing down now, I'm not listening to what you're saying at that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So unless I get the time at the end, maybe I think it'd be a good time to write something down.
Yeah.
But I've been never good at writing anything down, because whatever I'm writing down now I'm not getting what you're saying whilst I'm writing. I've never been good at doing that.
Yeah.
But I always found that if I love something, and I obviously love rugby league, I'll learn and I'll be good at it. So I definitely believe in, like, you have to know everything. Like, there's a lot of detail. There's so much going on.
You have to know your
and
job.
you got to know. And the days of just going, oh mate, just turn it, run hard, have long gone.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer. I'll mention it in team meetings where it's like, hey boys, we got this pre-season. We're learning, understand. But come round 10, like, you have to know everything. The minute someone says something, you got to go whoosh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There can't be a thing like, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
when people do that, that does shit me a bit, especially if I feel like you've been here long enough where you should know it.
You have to know your job.
And for anyone, like the young kids, I mentioned it a couple of times, babe, boys, this is your time to learn, ask questions. If you don't know something, it's all good right now. But come this time, you better know it.
Yeah.
And you better know it instantly, as it said,
Yeah.
It's an important part, I think. It's a really important part, especially of our team, but of most teams. As soon as something's said, you can't be saying it twice, or you can't be explaining yourself.
Yeah, well,
especially in the footy field.
There's some lessons there for teachers and coaches about preparing. When kids are getting to the age where they're almost looking at that elite stuff, you have to prepare them physically to be ready, mentally to be ready, skilled, fundamental skills to be ready. But you also need to be preparing them how to learn of what's coming, because the pro life you have to know your job, right? And then there's lessons there for coaches around everyone learns different as well, right?
Yeah, I
so
definitely believe that.
Yeah, no, that's. Is there any other little lessons along the way that stick out to you? Maybe around about that 16, 15, just before you hit that kind of reps. And any junior coaches that we want to shout out to?
Well, Adrian Lamb was the biggest one for me. I've been so lucky with the coaches I've had.
What a great job he's doing at Lee.
Yeah, I know. So he's been a good coach over in England for 5 years now. Obviously,
he was at Wigan.
Lee. Now Lee. Should have won a grand final at Wigan. One where it hit the post. Anyway, don't bring that one up. He was my coach from 7 years old. I've been so lucky. You think of young kids in the eastern suburbs now. You've just got to luck on with a good coach. Because I think coaching for junior football is so important.
So important.
Like if you don't have that, and say you don't have a good coach, and then you get to under 10s, and then your team's not winning, and then you're like, we're getting flogged, we're in second division. We'll just get rid of it, which I think happens a lot in the eastern suburbs. I think that's a big part of like junior football there, where I was lucky. I was from 7 years old, Lemmy. We had a good crew. We were in first division. We never won one. We lost the grand final. We were always near the top. We always had a really good side.
Yeah.
So I played up until I think under 17s
with him.
Him, and he taught me everything from the step in drill we do today.
Yeah.
Short passing was his biggest one. We do power game or whatever. Yeah. Like people hold pads. We did pad footy once a week since I was probably 10 years old.
Short passing.
We just run short pass to each other in the line with pads.
Early catch. All
these things that I know that my brothers obviously, or these other people didn't get taught just because they didn't have the coaching. And I know without him, there's no way I would have.
Okay then, so let's stick there, give some advice to any junior coaches, because not all of them were superstar players like Adrian Lamb, but I feel we're maybe getting a message across that they should focus on fundamentals and teach kids fundamentals. Because Adrian Lamb was an Origin player, an international premiership winner.
Yeah.
But when he coached kids, he taught you basic fundamentals.
Or was step in with that foot that we still do at training today.
Your tackle technique that you do today.
The early catch and the 6 o'clock pass, I'm telling you.
You were doing.
It's kind of all I've done since.
I'm going to send him the Catch Pro bands. He'll love them.
Yeah, right.
He'll love them, Adrian Lamb. Actually, Lee have them. I left a bag of Catch Pro bands over there. I wonder if he ever used them, because he wasn't there the day I visited. I went and visited Lee. Derek Beaumont took me around, and Fergo was playing there at the time. Yeah.
Just before they won to get promoted.
And I like following them because, like you, with your connection, that's where my family was from.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. In that area, mining town, hardworking town. And I really like seeing Lammy and his son experience that Challenge Cup final.
Yeah, that was mad.
Just to see a father's son win a Challenge Cup.
A field goal as well.
And he kicks a field goal.
And we never won a grand final as a junior team.
Oh, really?
So he coached us for 10 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
We never won. We lost one on the bell.
Yeah.
So that was the first time he's won a comp with his son.
I loved it for that. I loved it for Lockie, but also him. And I don't really know Lammy. I mean, I've met him and stuff, but I know Lockie. Yeah. But seeing father-son win the Challenge Cup, and also, like you, I used to get woken up as a kid by my father to watch the Challenge Cup finals.
Yeah, right.
Usually it was Wigan back in the day because, you know, the family and Wigan, all the family all around there. And, I used to have to get up and have to stand up and sing God Save the Queen. Yeah.
They're so proud.
They are. That's
you know, when we sing the national anthem over here and like everyone's kind of Australians.
Yeah.
Over there, I remember standing next to Thomas Burgess. He's screaming it, God save.
Yeah.
It's good. It's mad that like that uniteness when everyone's there going, actually shouting their national anthem.
Yeah.
It's just so proud that feeling.
That's so good. I'd like to talk to you about the best leaders you've had or even coach. I mean, we mentioned Lammy there, but maybe in your professional life at the Roosters, is there any leaders and why you admire them so much? Anything from the coaching, anything?
Well, I've lucked on, like I was saying, age, you know, till I was 17. Then I had gone up into Tony Barnes and then Fitzy as assistant Jason Rolls, Adam O'Brien, Robbo. Who else have we had here? Yourself. I'm leaving some out here, but I've had the coaches we have at the Roosters.
Kingy,
Holbrook, King, but the coaches at the Roosters.
You had some good ones.
They
Steve McNamara, who was coaching.
He just left as
did he?
2017, he coached me for a junior team.
Juniors,
Then he went overseas.
But even some of the conditioners and like
Travis.
Like if I mention your name to Travis Toomer or to Steve Driscoll, like if I mention your name to Steve Driscoll, he loves you.
He's one of the greats, Driscoll.
Loves you. So there's something.
But even that crew I had with Driscoll, Nate Ford, Barnesy, and we ended up winning the under-20s comp in 2016. That year, like I've been so grateful for the people that I've had because they're good trainers, obviously knowledgeable blokes, but they get around the squad, a team, especially under-20s team, better than anyone. Driscoll. Yeah. He knows how to get a team together.
Yeah, he's a beauty. And again, a bit like the characteristics of Sean Wayne, like how much he cared about you. That's why Driscoll is good, you know. But players in that team, you just mentioned an under-20s team. Is that the one that had Joey Manu and Latrell and who else do you have in that team?
We had Ruben Porter, Jesse Marsky. Who else is? We had some players. Tuivasa Shek, Johnny Tuivasa Shek.
Yeah, that was a crew.
They had a good side. We had a good side. We were down 28-6. Come back and beat.
Come back and won, So then you debut and you've had an NRL career that's, you know, the sky's the limit. You've already won 2 premierships. But I want to give me your best captain, not captain, your best leader, not
Boydo.
Your captain, because you'd say Boydo, you'd love Boydo.
Yeah.
Give me a couple of leaders and why. They didn't have to have the captain next to their name, but what do you love about them? I always hear you talk about Jared Warrior-Hargraves.
Jared, Boyd, Jake Friend. I feel like I've gotten older now and I'm coming into that kind of leadership role where I'm one of the...
You're one of them now,
the older leaders. I just, for some reason, feel like... Because I used to look at like them different to I think people look at me. I don't know why. I don't know if everyone feels like this, but just the presence that they had on the field when you look at them and the confidence they give you, and then how much I used to look at, say, Boyd or Jared, and then if they were there in the team, I was petrified of letting them down. I think that was my biggest driver, was my teammates, all my teammates, but especially the leaders, which I respected so much. My biggest fear was like letting them down by not doing my job or not working overtime. I'm not really fussed if I get something wrong, but if I did something that was deemed like, oh, you didn't try or you're soft, it's probably one of my biggest fears. Rob always asks what your why is. My why when I come in here is definitely my teammates. Like when I'm going to run out on the field, I don't really care about anything else other than like, I'm not going to let them down.
Yeah.
And I used to look at them with like such a like not a fear, but like I will not let them down because of how I felt about them.
Yeah.
Because the leaders that they were, or just the presence that I had.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm not in so much respect, or I want to be like you so much that I'm not going to let you down, so then you like me, kind of thing.
You know what, you it feels like you're trying to articulate how much respect you had for them. But I see that in you. You have so much admiration for those qualities of that tough, hard worker, which you have about, like your father, that was Jared in the footy sense. That was Boydo in the footy sense,
That's how I looked at them, was, I will not let them down. And that was my whole thing. That's what I mean about, I don't think people look at me like that, because
you're being humble, actually.
Yeah, but I just don't. Yeah. I don't know if everyone has that feeling. I'm not sure Boydo might have said the same thing, because but I just feel like, that was when I was coming through. That was my whole mindset, because of the people and the players they were. That was how I felt.
Yeah.
Playing with them was, fuck, I'm not gonna let you down, because I want you to like me. I want you to be like, yes.
Yeah.
I'm with you,
Guess what? They do, mate. They do feel that about you. Well, let's build the most valuable teammate. If I could give an award with junior teams, if I'm out there coaching junior teams, it's not the MVP, most valuable player. It's MVT, most valuable teammate.
Yeah.
I want to teach kids how to be a good teammate. In your words, what is a good teammate? I know you are one, but what is a good teammate? If there's a young 16-year-old listening right now, be a good teammate.
I've thought of straight away some details around how you play, but I feel like if everything you're doing is to benefit someone else, I feel like maybe you're a good teammate. If I'm carrying the ball, I'm gonna run as hard as I can to hit the deck to play the ball, so then he gets a good run, or am I doing it so I break a tackle and I step someone and fence someone and go down and then play? Am I doing it because I'm getting a good run? The mindset around why you're doing what you're doing needs to be for
someone else.
And I feel like if that's your mindset, you'll be a good teammate, Yeah. We spoke yesterday about there's a really big difference between, not a big difference, there's a fine line being like a great player and a great teammate, and merging the two, because if you're a great player, you're going to help the team regardless, but then if you can add that teammate bit to it, it's a little bit of love to it, being a great player, that's when you get the Boyds and Jads, I think. But if your mindset's that, am I going to run over this bloke, so then someone else gets it?
Yeah. So you've gone to some game-like details. It's, like a support run to help someone else, or a tough carry to help him get a better carry.
Or marker play, like getting out a marker.
Yeah.
Hard. Yeah. So then he's not feeling his inside shoulder, be a bit exposed.
So you've gone to some good on-field details. If you're a good teammate off-field, what are you doing?
You're working hard, and that doesn't mean like you have to win everything. I'll never say, but you know yourself. You have to push yourself to be the fittest, the fastest, the strongest person you can.
The team needs you to be.
Yeah, and that's if you're not doing that, people can see it really easily. Even if you think like, oh no, they can't see it. People see it. People feel it, and then that's when you're not going to be in that conversation when people say, do you want to be the player you want to play next to? People won't think of you, but if you, that was poorly explained, but
no,
you've got to work as hard as you can.
It wasn't, mate. You just mentioned you want to be a player you want to play with. You've given some characteristics there, because if you can give that advice to any kid, just be that player, and you've given a few actions to go with it. Because I feel that when I see you around the place, at training, how can I help someone? You always help. In a team meeting, you're not speaking to hear your own voice, you're speaking to help someone else learn or help the team. Or I see you socially with the boys, you're very big on the mateship of the sport. That's a big part of the team as well. Yeah. But again, like you've got your own family, your own baby, like you could be very selfish and do your own thing, but I see you do things to help someone else and help the team. Even old staff members, you ask me, how can I help you? Like that's in you. That's in you, You are a teammate players want to play with. I was just trying to get that out to the listeners out there, because, You have a lot to offer there, mate. What do you love about the game? Like, what made you fall in love with this game?
The contact definitely is why I fell in love with the game. I feel like maybe the older I get, the less maybe I feel like that's why I'm still in love with it. But when I was a kid, all I wanted was the contact with my brothers. I was telling my younger brother, let's go play knee footy, and he was always be like, oh. I was always that keen. I just wanted the contact. When I was at the beach, I wanted to catch big shores and get slammed on the ground or jump off the rock. The contact was why I fell in love with the game for sure. And then the violence as you got older. I always would say get in fights or whatnot, and I got in strife when I was younger. But rugby league, that sorts me out with all that stuff as I've gotten older. Yeah. And I know the year I done my knee, that year I was starting to get a bit ticky. Right. So definitely the contact is why I fell in love with the game.
Okay.
Without doubt.
Mate, where's the game going to take you? What could you see? You're basically a rooster for life. Where can you see yourself going? How old are you now?
27 in a few weeks.
27.
Yeah, so
I feel like I'm talking to a 35-year-old super mature.
Yeah, I've always said
27.
Yeah.
What have you always said?
Oh, I've always said the Roosters have me till they don't want me.
Yeah.
This is my home. I owe everything to what they've given me. Everything I've got in my life. Yeah. So they've got me till they don't want me, and then I'd love to see myself go overseas and spend some time in England.
Yeah.
I'm not planning anything around that yet. Like I said, we've got to build this club into a premiership team again, first and foremost, and then touch wood, my body holds up, and I'm old enough to keep going because I know that I'm going to go till the wheels fall off. So when the wheels fall off, maybe I'll be over in England.
After the wheels totally fall off, what's life look like for you? What do you see?
I love building. I was a carpenter for the 4 years before I started first grade.
Yeah.
I do love that. I love the camaraderie around that. So no matter what I'm doing, I'm hopefully going to build a site with people that I like,
you
my
love
friends
the
and stuff. And you got that same kind of locker room vibes where you're working hard, but you're having fun. You're not just talking smack all day.
Yeah.
That or something to do with this club is what I'm hopeful for. But hey, I'm completely happy being a carpenter with BT and my best mates are twins as well. I want to go and work with them. They're already doing their builder's course, so I'll just jump on the back of them and be a labourer for a few years.
Okay.
Learn some more stuff what I'm doing. But this club is, this club's pretty special to me. It's my home. I live here.
Yeah.
Got a place in Waverley. I can't see myself going very far. So if there's something to do with this club, that's where I'll be.
Sure. Meanwhile, the property portfolio is ticking over there.
Interest rates keep going up.
Yeah. And, mate, family.
Yeah.
You're a young dad now.
Yeah. Vinny just turned 1. It's good. I love it.
Yeah.
Keen for more. Be a bit of a breeder for a few years, I reckon. Get some kids out. I love it. It's definitely the best thing I've done.
Yeah.
Kind of ever since I was young, I always knew I never had a girlfriend really up until I met Taylor at COVID time. But even before that, I knew I wanted to have kids. I was never, I was the one pushing her. I said, let's have a kid. And she's the best mum and she loves it too. So I love it. So I'll have more hopefully. I think that's the plan.
Yeah. Mate, I see him on the fat boy bike. I saw a little bit riding the bike.
Yeah, give him a few more months and we'll be riding the training on it.
You'll be playing knee footy with him soon if your knees are holding up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mate, that's thanks so much for that chat because I love chatting to you. I love everything about you. But we've shared a little bit there that there'll be some little lessons.
Yeah, I don't speak to my vocabulary is not the best as you can see, but there might be some lessons. I say it in my way, so hopefully people can understand why.
You know what I love? Like, when I hear you speak, in particular in team meetings, when you speak, it's like, it's from the heart or real deep meaning, like it means something.
There's another clip for her was I try not to ever think before I'm going to do something. I remember everyone used to be like, think before you talk, think. And I used to cloud me, I thought. And I just come to a thing, I just say what I'm feeling at any point. And I know that I come to think, I'm a good person. I said, yeah, I'm a good person. Say whatever I'm thinking at any time. Yeah. And don't think, even before this, I didn't want to think before it came in. So I just go into everything blank-minded, and then when it comes to me, I just want to say it. Sometimes it might not articulate the best, but I don't want to start thinking about the conversation I'm going to have before I have it, or how I'm going to present something. Sometimes, obviously, you do, but I want it to come from no, that's what I'm feeling at the time. Yeah. And I feel like that's helped my life as well.
That's you, mate. I love it.
Anyway, cheers, Marcy.
Legend.